Before we had humming machines in every kitchen, refrigeration meant something very different. It meant ice. Real ice, delivered by horse. A massive wooden box in your home. Inside, a melting block of ice. That was your fridge, and it didn't just sit there quietly. If you forgot to refill it, your food spoiled, your milk soured, your meat rotted, and if the delivery man was late, you were in trouble. Every week, the ice wagon would rattle down cobbled streets, men hauling blocks wrapped in sawdust like chilled bricks of gold. Families waited anxiously. This was your lifeline against bacteria. But here's the part most people don't realize. Ice boxes weren't just inconvenient, they were dangerous. The water runoff pooled at the bottom, a breeding ground for mold, bacteria, even insects. One slip in timing, and a family meal could become a health hazard. The entire system was a race against time. Ice melts fast, especially in summer. You had to live on a tight schedule, replace the ice, or risk the consequences. This wasn't just food storage. It was a daily battle between freshness and decay, and millions of families lived like this for decades. But in 1918, that world was about to freeze in place permanently. The first electric refrigerator for home use was invented by Fred W. Wolf in 1913, a box called the Domelre. In 1918, General Motors acquired a small company called Frigidaire and helped bring the electric refrigerator into millions of homes. No more food gone bad by morning. Suddenly, families had control over cold. It was like science fiction in a box. Flip a switch and freshness stayed. Milk didn't curdle. Meat lasted days. Leftovers, they actually survived the night. But here's the twist. When this miracle machine first hit the market, less than 10% of Americans had won. The rest, still wrestling with ice blocks and moldy drawers. By the 1930s, though, everything changed. Electric fridges exploded in popularity from 8% of households to nearly 50% in a few short years. They weren't just appliances, they were status symbols, a sign that your family had made it. And for kids, raiding the fridge after school became a national pastime. But beneath that hum of progress, something sinister was hiding behind the cooling coils. Because while these new machines seemed clean and quiet inside, they carried chemicals that could kill. And soon they would. Electric fridges were a dream until they started leaking. Early refrigerators used chemical coolants like ammonia, methyl chloride, and sulfur dioxide, all highly toxic. And if one of these machines cracked, if a pipe failed, the result was invisible poison filling your home. In 1929, it happened in Chicago. Within just a few months, 15 people died, not from explosions, not from fire, just breathing. These weren't freak accidents, they were silent killers. Gas would seep out overnight, families would fall sick or never wake up at all. The symptoms were terrifying. Eyes burned from sulfur dioxide. Methyl chloride caused nausea, seizures, coma. Some victims were found still in their beds. One leak was so severe it forced an evacuation of the White House in 1937. The gas literally bleached red roses white. Let that sink in. A machine meant to preserve life was ending it. Panic spread fast. People pushed their fridges outside. Some refused to sleep in the same room. Trust in the electric miracle plummeted. Fridge manufacturers were in crisis. They had sold the world a promise and delivered a threat. They had one chance to fix it, and a man named Thomas Midgley Jr. was about to take center stage. Fridge companies were desperate. Sales were crashing. Fear was spreading. People were dying. They needed a hero, and they got one, or so it seemed. Thomas Midgley Jr., a chemical engineer already known for creating leaded gasoline, another story for another day. Now he had a new trick up his lab coat sleeve. A compound called Freon. Freon was different, no smell, no fire risk, and most importantly, no immediate toxicity. To prove it, Midgley walked into a press conference, took a deep breath of Freon gas, and then blew out a candle. The audience gasped. He smiled. See, safe and even fun. Of course, today we know, inhaling Freon is very much not safe. But in the 1930s, it was convincing enough. Fridge makers pounced. They rewired their machines, slapped on new labels, and Freon flooded the market. Overnight, the fridge was redeemed. No more panicked customers, no more newspaper deaths, just cool, quiet peace in the kitchen. Freon didn't just save refrigeration, it launched an entire air conditioning boom too. For decades, life felt safe again. But what if I told you? Freon's true danger wasn't in your kitchen, it was in the sky. Freon felt like the perfect solution. For decades, it quietly chilled homes, cars, offices, even planes. You couldn't see it, you couldn't smell it, but it was everywhere until scientists looked up. By the 1970s and 80s, researchers noticed something horrifying. The ozone layer, Earth's UV shield, was disappearing, not thinning, tearing. Above Antarctica, a massive hole had formed, wider than the United States. And growing, the cause, Freon, along with other CFCs, chlorofluorocarbons. These gases floated into the stratosphere. Up there, sunlight broke them apart, releasing chlorine atoms. Each chlorine atom could destroy 100,000 ozone molecules. It was like termites devouring the roof of a house, except the house was our entire planet. The stakes were terrifying: skull more UV radiation, sun rising skin cancer rates, damaged crops, disrupted ecosystems. The same gas that once saved lives now threatened billions. In 1987, world leaders signed the Montreal Protocol, a global treaty to phase out CFCs. It worked. Freon was banned, replaced by safer refrigerants, and slowly the ozone began to heal. But here's the twist. Even those safer gases, some still contribute to global warming. Today, scientists are racing to invent cooling systems that are truly clean. No poison, no ozone harm, no carbon traps, because what started as a kitchen miracle nearly triggered planetary disaster. So, is your fridge still trying to kill you? Probably not. Today's fridges are cleaner, safer, and more efficient than anything from the past century. But here's the thing. The story of refrigeration isn't just about cooling, it's about consequences. The ice box seemed harmless until bacteria bloomed. Electric fridges felt futuristic until they leaked poison. Freon was the miracle gas until it nearly broke the sky. Every solution carried a hidden cost, not because technology is evil, but because we stopped asking questions. And maybe that's the real warning. Sometimes the most dangerous tools are the ones we trust the most. So yeah, I still love my fridge. But tonight, as I walk past it, I might glance back, not in fear, just in respect. Because no one wants their obituary to read, "Killed by a household appliance." Cold irony. By the way, that hidden design flaw we mentioned, especially in second-hand markets and off-grid homes. If yours was made before 1995 and never serviced, it could still be leaking ozone-eating gases. Check your model. The planet and your lungs will thank you.